exhibit FF. That is the confession made by accused number 1 to Colonel Mboto, which you have referred to.
Yes, my lord.
The version of accused number 1 that was put to the witnesses is in essence that what is stated in this document does not come from accused number 1. In other words, they're saying that accused number 1 is not the source of what is contained in this document, that accused number 1 was approached with these documents already completed. Now, what is your comment, given the contents of the document?
My lord, that cannot be true. And I'm basing that on the details that are in this confession that could only have been known by accused number 1. I did not even know the details that are contained here. And I can deal with them as we go along. The first point of departure, my lord, is that at the time when accused number 1 was approached, the only evidence that we had in the form of a sworn affidavit was a statement from Absolute Zungu. And that statement implicated him and accused number 2. But in his confession, my lord, he then introduces Marco, Buthelezi, and QINISELANI as the co-perpetrators who were present. We did not know those names, so they could not have come up from anywhere except from him, because this was also followed up, my lord. Yes, my lord, that is a point of departure.
Yes, where do we see those names?
So if you... So if you go to paragraph 1 of the annex, in other words, the statement, my lord, after the pro forma, it reads as follows: that on that week, in that year, during the week, it was on Wednesday, I was at my place at the hostel in Basutu section, and I received a call from my friends Marco Buthelezi and Makimba Buthelezi. Both were staying at Basutu's hostel, but Zulu section. The person who was calling me was Marco, but I heard on the background that he was with Makimba. I told him that I am present, and he said he is coming with Makimba. So this is the version, my lord, that he continues to keep up to the time that he alleges that he went to kill the deceased in this matter. We followed this version, my lord, and found that this was not correct, because these two people were in prison from 2013 up to 2016.
Remember, this is the Senzo Meyiwa trial, and everything that Zunganizer said on the stand under oath last year, everything he told us about the Red Uno, or going to buy the alcohol, celebrating the end of life of Senzo Meyiwa, being with the 5 accused at the Basutu hostel, all that, take it and throw it out in the trash, because Brigadier Gininda is now on the stand with a brand new version. And this version is what? Zungu's dad, okay? Zungu Senior, Zungu Absalom Zungu. He came with a statement, and just that statement alone. Nothing else, no physical evidence, no DNA, just this old man from KZN coming with a hearsay evidence story that implicates accused number 1 was enough for the brigadier and his team of 2 to go ahead and arrest accused number 1 for a separate crime, okay? Remember that. They didn't arrest him for the Senzo Meyiwa crime. They arrested him for ammunitions, firearm, okay. And when they did that, accused number 1, MUZI Sibiya, said, you know what, let me tell you, I mean, how is this even possible? How is this even possible? This is how I imagined MUZI Sibiya started the story. Because I swear, right now, Diddy, okay, over there in the America has been arrested, and the stories are coming out from the victims. Diddy is not sitting there in jail saying, you know what, let me tell you about this other thing that you don't know about. MUZI Sibiya sat down and said, you know what, let me tell you about Marco Buthelezi and QINISELANI and myself and what we did on the 26th of October 2014 over there in Vosloras, when Kelly Kumalo Umalo's boyfriend, SENZO Meyiwa, had visited her at the Spaza house with her mother, and then Ulongwe came over, but then I was standing outside. What does Gininda really think about it? Which criminal is out there doing this? Let's just go with that MUZI is guilty as charged. But why is he out there confessing to something the police are not there to ask him about? Do you see what I'm saying? And then the second thing that stands out is that when Gininda is telling the story, he says Umako Buthelezi and QINISELANI. And then Baloyi says, oh my God, please do tell me, where do I find these names on MUZI confession? And then they flip through the pages, and then they get there, and then Brigadier Gininda reads the names, and then oops, it's Marco Buthelezi and who? Makimba. And then Brigadier Gininda is now explaining to us how he said a name that is not on the confession. Brigadier Gininda, how do you know these names? How do you know these names? This name, rather. And then he also says, and then we find out that MUZI lied. Why would MUZI lie? Why would he lie if he's already arrested anyway? He's already arrested anyway, okay? That Marco and QINISELANI were already in prison, so he lied to us about who the actual perpetrators are. I mean, Guningi, okay? Guningi, and for me, it's tsuma. It is too much, Brigadier Gininda, a whole brigadier. But you know what? He comes bearing gifts. As a storyteller, he has more news to tell us. Let's listen to this.
Now, my lord, Makimba is also QINISELANI Buthelezi, because we managed to get to him, and a statement from him was obtained with regards to this. As one was trying to corroborate this confession, my lord.
And where did you find him?
I found him at Kalagabushe prison, my lord, in KZN. That's where he was incarcerated. The records, my lord, confirmed that he was indeed in detention from 2013, together with his brother, Marco. And they were released briefly in 2016, where he was then arrested again. This is QINISELANI. And thereafter, Marco was then killed, I think around 2019. We also obtained his death certificate. Was shot and killed.
Just a minute, my apologies. Give the interpreter a chance to
yes, my apologies. And my lord, in the description of accused one now in this confession, he described one of this individual as having the dreadlocks and being the one carrying the firearm. In other words, to give this description that in our view, based on our investigation, it's accused number 3, but he just changes the name to try and mislead us because the facts that he referred to are aligned with this matter. Furthermore, my lord, he does make mention on this confession that he was informed that when the perpetrators went inside their house, they demanded cell phone and money. It's contained in his confession. Now, this is in line with what the witnesses inside the house are saying, that the perpetrators demanded cell phone and money. He told this to Colonel Mvoto and Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe. My lord, furthermore, on this confession, he does make mention of a white polo that he says was used. The evidence that we have is that it was a silver polo. So he was close describing the right car, but a different color, a gray color. I mean, a gray polo, my lord.
See, I'm very, very, very concerned with the brigadier. I'm very concerned because he is very, very selective. He's very selective of what he accepts as a fact on MUZI confession and what he accepts as this was just a slight error. This was, he was close to the truth. As he describes it. So he says that MUZI misled them with the names of Marco and QINISELANI Buthelezi. He misled them, okay? He misled them. But when it comes to the polo, the white polo, he says it was a white polo, but no. It was not a white polo because Ufisoguhle Ntuli, okay? Ufisoguhle Ntuli. He was driving a grey polo that was registered under his name. We did all the investigation. We found tickets in his name, blah, 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 blah. But because Ufisabuthle Ntuli had a grey polo and MUZI said a white polo, Brigadier Gininda says, well, it was close. It was close. He just got confused with the colors. Do you see? This is on the exact same statement. And he is the exact same brigadier. And he chooses what he accepts and what he doesn't accept as truth and faith. What in the Brigadier South African Police Services is this? This is a whole nganegwane. Why would he accept one thing but not the other? He accepts the description of the dreadlocks but does not accept of the Marco and QINISELANI, and he doesn't explain to us why that would be different. He just moves quickly past that and says, anyway, they were in prison and, one got killed. Oh my goodness. One got killed. We also have his death certificate. Like, he can go on and on and on. It's so unfortunate for the interpreter because Gininda has got main character syndrome. You cannot cut him off to interpret until Baloyi says, whoa, please give the interpreter a chance. Because you see, when you're inside the Nganegwane and you're rolling and you're going and you're cruising, you see, I'm a storyteller too. When I tell you the story and people say, some people rather in the comment section, will be typing in the comment section that I talk too much, but you don't understand. You don't understand. When you're in the middle of Indaba, okay, in Nganegwane, you gotta keep going. And then you want to add juices, and then you want to add spices, and then boom, it's 10 minutes later. I've done that myself. And I've been guilty several times. But do you see what I mean? They had to stop him to give the interpreter a chance just to give the story, isiZulu, to give the story in isiZulu. But you know what? Let me know your thoughts, what you think about why he's accepting of the grey polo / white polo, but not accepting of Umako Buthelezi and uQiniselani.
And that grey polo, my lord, insofar as our investigation is concerned, is associated with accused number 5. Insofar as that vehicle was concerned. That is a vehicle that was used during the commission of this offense, driven by accused number 5. My lord.
And how are you able to establish that it is associated with accused number 5?
My lord, what we did as I'm moving away now, when we were now looking at accused number 5, we audited his ID number to try and establish vehicles that are associated with him. Through the assistance of the traffic department, I think Mr. Matlowo Chupi assisted us, my lord, in linking accused number 5 with this grey VW Polo, although the date was different, but it was associated with it at a specific day that he was given an infringement using that particular vehicle, a grey VW Polo.
You see, I know that the 2000s, they love to say he ate and he left no crumbs. Gininda really thinks he ate and left no crumbs with that explanation. So we're going to use his scientific friends to beat him at his own game. So you remember Mangena, Colonel Mangena, him, yes, the ballistic expert. You remember when he told us, just because I drove a BMW to court, that doesn't mean I will leave in a BMW. Do you guys remember that? Let me take you also where? To the red Polo. Remember the red Polo that is registered to S Twala. That doesn't mean that if it is registered to S Twala, that it is S Twala who is driving the vehicle. But you know what? You're going to love this next example. Just because Gininda has a BMW doesn't mean that he cannot register it to his son. Allegedly. Do you see what I'm saying? So now they're trying to say Ufisugule Ntuli, accused number 5, had been registered with a grey Polo. Okay. And then they're bringing us dates and tickets from 2016. Wow, lead investigator. Wow. Show me how that ties Ufisugule Ntuli to the crime. You're going to the future to find the answers for the past? This is some new investigation technique. So his tickets from 2016 prove that this car that is registered to Ufisugule Ntuli was at the crime scene on the 26th of October 2014? Make it make sense, somebody. Make it make sense. For me, I think the state is searching for a needle in a haystack, and it is not looking good at all. I am still not convinced with regards to the grey Polo. Let me know what you think about the Polo, but for me, I'm going with what Mangena taught us. Mangena taught us that just because I arrived in a BMW doesn't mean I'm leaving in one. And I think Mangena needs to communicate with Brigadier Gininda and teach him that concept. What are your thoughts? Let's continue on.
But in addition, my lord, there are statements. I think Sizwe Zungu also gave a statement to that effect, my lord. So there are witness statements. I'm not so sure whether I will still call others, but who indicates that accused 5 was driving a grey VW Polo, silver or grey VW Polo on the day of the incident.
Is it correct that Mr. Matlo testified in this matter?
That is correct, my lord.
I just want to show you his affidavit, which was ended up as Exhibit AAA in brackets 1. And in particular, paragraph H of his affidavit that appears on page 5. If I can ask you to read the contents of that paragraph in the report.
Which paragraph? The top paragraph.
Paragraph H.
Paragraph H. Okay, Natis records indicate that Mr. Fisoku Fentuli, ID 86011 0561 2086, was issued with infringement handwritten notice number 1-0011-016 8990 by Traffic Officer MJ Stoffy, Officer's Infrastructure Number 49512K9R, attached to JMPD Issuing Authority. The particulars of the infringement are shown below.
Yes,
Yes, the particulars.
and then infringement notice.
Yes, it says infringement and motor vehicle particulars. Should I?
Yes, yes, we proceed.
Yes, that it was issued to Ntuli F, and the cell phone number, my lord, it's 073. I think it's 30592. Yeah. It's a small writing, my lord, so the court will bear with me. But it refers to a Volkswagen vehicle, and then the color is white. The date is 2016 0209, my lord, if I can see correctly.
And the area?
The area, it says Johannesburg. Location and date of the infringement, my lord, it says Johannesburg in Gauteng, my lord.
Yes. Is there any other infringement notice? If you can go to the next paragraph.
Yes, my lord. So on paragraph K, it reads as follows: that the National Traffic System NATIS records further indicate that an infringement number 01-0011-0168163-848 was issued to Mr. Fisoku Ntuli, ID number 8601105612086 by Traffic Officer identified as M.A. Mudisani, Officer's Infrastructure Number 49512HB9, attached to JMPD Issuing Authority on the date in question. The full particulars of the infringement are shown below on page 7 to 22. Now, my lord, on the next page, the particulars of the infringements were issued to F. Ntuli, and it indicates that the vehicle is a VW Polo. It indicates that the color is gray, and the date is 2016-03-20, that I see, my lord. And the location, rather the place where this was issued, it says City of Town, Johannesburg, suburb Johannesburg, and the street name is Klein Street.
Any other particulars of the infringer as per the infringement notice?
No, my lord, because the next paragraph deals with the ownership of this Polo, my lord.
By the ID number, the cell phone number?
Yes. So the cell phone number that I see, my lord, it's 073-305-92. I think it's 02, my lord, the cell phone number. The ID number, my lord, it's very small. I can't really. I know I can see that it's 86011 Yeah, no. The last digit, my lord, is 2086. The ones in the middle are a bit smallly written, my lord.
In any case, it's already on record.
Okay, my lord, this exhibit was the witness who compiled this statement or this statement, this report, had already testified in this court, my lord. We all have this exhibit that the witness is repeating, and it is irrelevant because all those infringements were in 2016. We are here talking about the incident that took place in 2014. Therefore, I object, my lord, on the basis of irrelevancy and reputation, my lord.
Yes. Well, regarding the second aspect of relevance, submit with the greatest respect that the evidence is relevant. The witness mentioned the fact that in the confession of accused number 1, reference is made to a VW Polo, and Mr. Matlo also refers to the fact that an infringement notice was issued in the name of accused number 5. Even if it was some 2 years later, the state will argue at the end of the day that This is strong circumstantial evidence. It is therefore relevant. As far as repetition is concerned, context must be given to the evidence. That's why the witness is referring to the affidavit of Mr. Matlo. So we submit that on both scores, my lord, that this evidence ought to be allowed.
Yeah, evidence is allowed on the basis of relevance.
As a court case, in any case, we are done with the affidavit of Mr. Matlo.
Yes.
Counsel for case number 1, Mr. Ramasipele, said the following, my lord, let me clarify from my perspective. My instructions are that he never made a statement. He also denied that he made any admission or pointing out. He never made a statement. The making of the statement needs to be clarified because he says the statement was brought to him. Can we then take the normal short adjournment at this stage?
Okay, 15 minutes.
I don't agree, of course, with the ruling that my lord made, which is to allow the repetition of the evidence that is being given by Ubaloi via Brigadier Gininda, who is reading into the record the tickets that accused number 5, Officer Ntuli, who is laughing over there in the background. You can also see Bongani Danzi laughing as well, because yes, this is ridiculous, because they are going to the future to get evidence for the past and then trying to tie it all together. And my lord is hell-bent on accepting anything that has to do with MUZI and Ubongani Danzi's confession. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what the judge is up to, but you know what? He has allowed it. It is what it is. But I also want to go on record and say, Shalolo, definitely on the right path by objecting, because I was also listening to it like, why are we going through this again? What is the tickets going to reveal this time that we don't already know and haven't already discussed? I thought it was irrelevant. It was very repetitive. And again, it does not prove. I'm sticking to what Mangena taught us, okay? Just because I arrived in a white BMW does not mean I am leaving in a BMW. Hello, just because I called an Uber doesn't mean the Uber's going to come. I cited all the examples for you. Let's use one final example. Just because Brigadier Gininda has a patrol card from the South African Police Services doesn't mean that he is not going to give it to his family to use. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? Allegedly, of course. But I definitely want to hear from you as members of the jury, okay? The online jury. What are your thoughts on how this session went? Let me know your thoughts on Shalolo's objection, Brigadier Gininda's tone. Yeah, his tone, his demeanor, as well as how he is verifying or objectifying MUZI Sevilla's free and fair confession, as he calls it. Let me know. I definitely want to engage with you on that. I want to hear your thoughts. I will catch you up in the comment section down below. And also, thanks so much for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And absolutely share this video with the last 3 people you chatted with on WhatsApp. If you've watched all the ads, you absolutely have my heart. You're my VIP gang. And to become a channel member, okay, to have exclusive access to our defense team emojis, plus, is definitely by hitting that join button, okay? And I promise not to rob you. It is absolutely affordable. And there's going to be some extra content that I'm going to be doing today. So please make sure your notification bell is turned on. If you're watching us from outside the club, please consider subscribing so that you also get the notifications on my next upload. To all the sweet, beautiful messages I get, comments, okay? I see your comments. I love them. Thank you for encouraging me. Some people say they cannot sleep without an upload. Some people say they're addicted to my voice. Oh my God. Should I start singing happy birthday on your birthdays? Should I make that a membership benefit? Let me know in the comment section down below. To my shy gang, you too count on this channel. Make sure you drop a soccer emoji in the comment section down below, as we're here together, gathered for justice for SENZO Meyiwa. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.